Now, do you know what is an undercut? Okay, in Formula One? Anybody knows? Can you write in the comments what is an undercut in Formula One? So we have two cars, one is in the front, okay, and they are going really fast, and then this guy is doing like that, and then something happens in the strategies of both teams that things will change, even if we believe it could not change. So the undercut strategy, which is basically how to take somebody that is second and put it in the front of the car, right? Okay, here we have the classical, guy that has to tell us what we have to go. Okay, bloqué, voila, and we blocked him right away. So now I learned how to get this guy that sometimes writes I don't know what on in the comments. Speeding for the fresh tires to overtake the drive in front of you. Yes, yeah, that's exactly. It's a strategy to make sure that there is still a chance, even though you are second, okay, and not first, to become first and win this Grand Prix, okay, this race. So this is the undercut. But now, no, Filippo, non è sfruttare la scia, quella è aerodinamica. Undercut è quando ti fermi al box perché sei secondo, cambi le gomme e diventi primo, capito? The strategy, the undercut strategy. Sorry guys, I said it in Italian for my friend Filippo. So now the question that I would like to ask you, how this type of strategy can be applied to car designers for their life in the studio, to make sure that they have something, an opportunity, something to have always that extra kick, even if they are not the strongest in the studio as designers. Because that's what we're talking about. The undercut in car design, doesn't exist exactly this word or this terminology, but that's how I see it, okay, personally, is when you have a design project, you have selections made of sketches, and now you have two designers that are fighting, friendly, but they are in competition to get their own idea chosen to go to production. So we still have to make from two another selection from 2 to 1. The only one that will remain, all right? So, what's gonna happen? But in general, we say that if we have a very good designer, that he's really hot and everything looks great, well, this guy's gonna get the project at the end. And then we have the other one, okay, that maybe he's not that hot as a designer, but he, with us, how can I say, being very humble, okay, he is there and tries to understand the most he can all the feedbacks, all the critiques that he receives every time there is a step, presentation step, an internal design committee, to understand what is missing in his sketches in order to be considered like the winning one. So the undercut basically happens when the designer that has the best proposal so far thinks that he already won. And then what happens? It happens that during the next 2, 3, 4 meetings during which we give feedbacks to their sketches or their alias models, we discover that the designer that had the great idea and the nice model did not make any evolution of its own design because he thought that that was already good enough. And then you have the other design, one that was slightly in the back, that little by little he started improving its own design. And therefore they arrive one day to the third or fourth presentation when it's really hard to make a decision, because both of them come, arrive almost at the same level. So we go from a situation where we have a winner, basically, and the second one, to another situation in a couple of weeks or 3 weeks time, where you have both of them that are really there and risk both of them to win the selection. Now, there is another thing I have to tell you, that I've seen many times where the second one really won. And then it's when we have the undercutting car design. Okay? That guy or that girl applied all sorts of modifications to its own design or to the model, that at the end, when you compare both solutions, you understand that this guy made an incredible improvement, and it's really very effective, very, very good. Therefore, the other one, it looks more traditional. And because the how can I say, the philosophy, the design philosophy is in that period, historical period of the company, is to push for something that looks more newer, then right away, everybody will turn their face to the second one and say, you know what, you got the best idea. We like your evolution. There is something fresh, something fresher. It's, in quality is the same thing. You're respecting also the package, the cost, everything. So sorry for the other guy, and we change basically direction, and we choose the second one that becomes first. So that's the perfect undercut. Okay? Ciao Edoardo, buonasera a te. Welcome back. So this is a description of what I call the undercut in car designer life. There is always a chance that when you feel that you've got the right rendering, the right sketches, the right everything you want, hi Mr. Tex, then that you feel like you already won. And believe me, it's not like that until the very end. Because you have to understand that when we make project, when we have the intermediate presentation steps, everybody is trying to improve, at every step. And how do we improve? We improve because we get feedbacks, critiques, sometimes really bad critiques. But remember, the bad critiques, as I said in another video, are the best one to make us grow, to make us understand where we are making mistakes, or why our presentations, our design, it's not really on the right track compared to what, according to what the design director, the design management is looking for. So during those intermediate steps, presentation steps, it's extremely important for every design student or every young designer to listen, to really listen very carefully, okay? What are the critiques? To make an analysis. Ciao Adele, welcome back. To make an analysis of how those critiques are really what type of things are touching. What type of critics are they? Are they about my overall presentations? Are they specific on some detail of my design? And if yes, why? So we have to make that analysis, because once we analyze that, we know what we can change and eventually how to change it. In another video, I talked about be careful, because this can happen to you. When you don't listen, when you get a bad critique, and instead of reacting, you get very shy, timid, and you close yourself on yourself. That's not good. It's much, much better, to be like made of rubber, okay, so that you can get all that hit, in a positive way, get the energy negative, make it that energy become positive, and let that energy push you to know what you have to change. Because it's only in that way. Hi, Price, welcome back. How are you? It's true that when perhaps we don't get a critique, we should still ask people. Yes, Eduardo, that's exactly. So we have to be careful that during that period, hi Alan, ciao, benvenuto. There is a great opportunity to improve, and that critic, it's like your gasoline, you know. It keeps you alive because even if they say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, that front grille, it's not making it. Look at that, it's too simple or it's too complicated. And besides, that line or that type of design, it's old. We are doing something different. Then it's pushing you to go and check what we are doing today for tomorrow. Go and check example from other projects. Understand that some details of your proposal are old-fashioned. I know that sometimes it can be very nice to do something that is a little bit traditional because it makes you look safe, you know. I know I'm doing something that they will like 100%. Yes, they will like it, but it doesn't mean that because they like it, that's the right thing to do. Because we are designing and sketching for the next 5, 7, 8 years. So you cannot take an example of yesterday and keep a big part of it and think that that's the best way to create an heritage design. Because in some brands, in some companies, that's exactly what we don't want to do. Alright, so I read Mr. Tech's comment, bad critiques are the best. Yes, I had an Italian interior design teacher. Cool. He criticized my sketch really hard, but he helped me so much. That's very good. I'm really thankful for that critiques. Yeah, they are the best because that's the way we push you, you know. As a manager, but also as a designer, I was never shy in telling some colleagues or to the people that work with me in our team when things are not correct, and explain why. Because some other people don't explain; they just give you a feedback, a critique, and they push you to think more. In my case, I explain things. I say why. And why I do that? Because in that way we could earn also time. So if you really know exactly what is not working, be concentrated on that and then make sure that everything is very cohesive with the changements that you're going to apply, you know, with the changes that you're going to apply. Because that's the objective, you know, that's the objective. So when you have two designers, all right, and those two designers, they're really fighting because they want to have their car, in production. Because that's an incredible thing for a designer career. You have to be very humble. You have to be always scared that you are not doing enough, even if everybody gives you lots of compliments on your work. Because there might be always something that it's not really working. And then it's only at the end of the last presentation, before the decision is taken, that we make, the final count, we make the total, as we used to say. And sometimes cards can change, choices can change, and they are motivated 100%. So I recently saw this in my working experience, and the way the decision came out was very brutal. So you can see in the face of the two designers, one that stares like, oh shit, I can't believe it, I didn't get it. And the other one that he tries, to be quiet, but he is very happy, of course. And because he won something that he did not expect to win. So this is a very good, how can I say, present in a way also to the engagement, the engagement that that designer put into that journey from the first sketch, improving that what he was doing until the day that decision has been taken. Okay, so now I hope you understand what it is the undercut in the Formula One under coffee. Ok, thank you very much. Subscribe if you're new. Thank you very much. Ciao. Grazie mille. Ciao.